Hi everybody, I'm Ruechel. Thank you so much for joining us for the PCS Journal, where we sit down and chat with folks within Pinellas County Schools about what it is they do and how it affects your children. Right now, I have Laura Spence who's joining me right now. She is the K-12 STEM Academy lovely lady who she just brings she walks in the room and it just brightens up because of STEM. Good to see you.
Good morning.
You always have good things to tell us about science, technology, engineering, and math. Are we doing the arts on the end kind of too, or not?
It depends on the situation. Sometimes we can blend in the arts and look at graphic design and architecture, and then sometimes it's just standalone.
Okay, we've got so many things to talk about. Let's talk about, you've got this big expo. Tell me what the expo, what do you do at an expo?
So this is our 4th annual expo, and so we build up all year long to get to this point. And what students do is they look at engineering design, and they look at problems in our community. So they spend all year working on and building all these different projects. So USF St. Pete has allowed us to use their building for free on April 29th, and it's from 9 to 1. And so all of our students, 180 STEM academies, are going to be displaying these projects for us to look at. It's amazing.
Yeah, now I have to mention something, because at Bay News Now we just did a story with the East Lake kids.
Yes.
Going back to the National Robotics Competition.
Yes, and those are some of the students that you'll see.
Unbelievable stuff that they're doing. Now, there's not a chance, and I only ask this because sometimes we come up with great ideas and we don't know what the unintended consequences are. So I think I know the answer to this. Is there any chance that because we're putting so much emphasis on STEM that we might be shortchanging some of the other areas? No,
I think it's really an enhancement. So what our students do is during the school day, they focus on science, technology, math, all of those different components. But with our STEM academies, they're able to kind of blend that all together and solve real world problems. So during the STEM Expo, we're going to have 15 community vendors there. Duke Energy is a big sponsor, and they're going to have their Line Live demonstration. They're going to have lots of different products that they're offering, and it's a great community event. It's free.
And because we are such a technology-oriented nation and a world, that these kind of lessons that they're learning will translate into real-world jobs. In fact, we were just interviewing somebody who was talking to me about the number, even in the Tampa Bay area, about the number of positions they can't fill, especially in the manufacturing area, which really surprised me because there aren't people that are trained or trained with that emphasis of STEM.
And we're hoping to see that pipeline change. So with Pinellas County, we had last year 200 STEM academies. This year we have 250 STEM academies, which impacts 5,000 students.
When did you start out with these academies?
4 years ago.
So, because I can remember you telling me went from like in the 30s or 40s and then jumped into the hundreds, and my gosh, that's great. Now, what happens at these local academies?
So they meet once a week after school, and they work on engineering design and reverse engineering. And so they look at problems within our community and globally. Part of that is looking at 21st century skills. So we're preparing kids to work in those manufacturing fields and compete globally for other careers and jobs that they're interested in. So part of that is their presentation skills, working on preparing presentations, and then communicating what they've learned. Because that's the biggest gap that we're seeing here, is we're producing very smart students, but they need those skills to then communicate what they're learning to others.
So when I was in high school, back right when cuneiform was still being used, it was, if you were a science guy, and I was a science nerd, but you were considered to be a nerd. I mean, it was just kind of like, yes, did I have a pocket protector? Yes. Did I carry a slide rule on my hip? Yes. Did all those kind of things. Is it different now? Now is it just more cool because technology is really cool?
Yeah, it's very trendy right now, and it's okay to be a geek, and that's what we're trying to instill in our students. And I think with the pipeline coming up through our Pinellas County school system, we're going to see that change, that it's okay to be interested in technology. It's okay to be interested in computers or building with your hands, and those are the fields that are in demand right now that are unable to be filled.
Now talk to me about the math side of things, because math has always been kind of a bugaboo, and I've got some real good friends that are math teachers, and they've been kind of going back and forth on the way they teach math.
So we had some good research. We had our research and accountability department look at our STEM academies to see how are they preparing students for science and math. What we found is that during the school day, kids are getting that really strong textbook knowledge that they need, and then during the STEM academies, they're applying that knowledge in different formats. So students that participate in a STEM academy are 2 times more likely to pass the math EOC, which is end of course exam. And for science, they're 4 times more likely to pass the end of course exam.
Yeah, and math is one of those things that you think you don't, well, unfortunately now they call them dumbing down computers and cash registers, because now they go by, what did you buy? Oh, that looks like that, I don't like that. So is long form math still being taught?
It is, but also the application of it is really more important, because when you're saying dumbing down and using cash registers, the other side to that is enhancement. So you can use your math skills to build a robotic arm to help maybe a veteran that's lost their arm. So there's those practical applications that math fills that gap.
Now, because this is K through 12, I mean, we're talking, I mean, so what do you do in kindergarten? What do you do in first grade and second grade? Besides the fact if I need an app, you know what I do? I go to my first grader.
Yes.
Hey, Grandpa needs this app. Can you download it? I can't figure out how to do that.
Yeah, we're working with a lot of our community partners to kind of tell us what is needed.
Yeah.
And so when kindergarten and first grade students enter our school system, we're preparing those baseline skills. Then when they get to third grade and beyond, we're really implementing the STEM academies in a way that students are applying that practical knowledge.
Now, and this I don't know because I haven't asked my grandkids, are they being taught keying skills?
Keyboarding?
Yeah.
During the school day, we focus a lot on coding. And coding is an in-demand skill that requires keyboarding skills, but also requires that conceptual knowledge. And it's really high-end thinking. A computer programmer is really in demand right now, and so we're focusing a lot on coding. So when you come to the STEM Expo, you're going to see a lot of students that are talking about coding and talking about building. So those two skills are something that we're really focusing on this year, because it's a trend that we're seeing nationwide.
Yeah, so by the time they get into on high school, these high school kids are so smart. I mean,
amazing.
You know, they are, when we say coding, I mean, some of them are doing, I don't even know what are the languages that they work with. There used to be Fortran and some things like that. What's the language they use now? So
starting at the lower level is Scratch, and then we have C+ programming. So it's really, you're absolutely right. And it's the basis of building apps and building websites. And those are communication tools that everybody's using every single day.
Now, besides what we have, the STEM academies that occur at the regular schools, you got a summer camp. And this is an application form. I'm not asking you to zoom in, but it's just kind of neat to see how many things that they have on there that you have to fill out. And so who is eligible? Can I go to the STEM Academy?
I know, a lot of my teachers ask too. They're like, can I attend?
I want to learn more, please.
I need to have a STEM summer camp for adults. You're absolutely right. The need was out of parent demand. So we started these STEM summer camps because parents are saying, you're spending all year long working on STEM, and now you have to fill this gap for the summertime. So what we're doing, these camps are for 4th through 7th grade students.
Okay.
And then we have another camp specifically for students who are entering 8th grade. During these camps, they're going to meet for 1 week at 4 different locations throughout the district. So it depends on your transportation issues, what camps you can attend. It's $150 for 4 days, and they're full days. And what you're going to do is we're going to do reverse engineering. We're going to look at being an entrepreneur. Now,
let's just define so people understand what reverse engineering means. And that's when you look at something, kind of dissect it and take it back, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So one thing that we're going to do is take apart electronics and build something else that's functionable. So taking apart like a computer, for instance, and seeing a different purpose for it and solving a real world issue with that. And then from there, then we look at being an entrepreneur. So you've built this great product. How do you then communicate it to the public? What are you selling it for? How much does it take and how much does it make? And so for your business, those are skills that are really in demand right now that we're working on it with our summer camps.
I don't remember when I was growing up, again, this is a long time ago, obviously there have been so many changes. There'd be such an emphasis about getting ready for a job, per se.
Yes.
It was mostly, hey, you go to college or you join the military, especially the small town that I came from. But, you know, there wasn't anything in between.
What we're doing is we're working with our community partners to kind of support that. So Women in Defense, they're going to sponsor 10 females to come to these camps because they feel it's very important to build the pipeline for females, for engineers, doctors, lawyers, physicians, all these types of fields that need more women involved. And so they've just come on board to say, hey, we want to come out and speak to your students. We want to come out and provide financial assistance, and that's what Duke Energy is doing as well.
Now, with technology, obviously, if you have a computer, you can do a lot, but I know there are some kids that still don't have computers, and we don't mean that derogatorily, but some parents just, hey, they're expensive, although they've come down in price a lot. So does this give kids a chance to get exposed to equipment, STEM equipment that maybe normally they wouldn't be able to see or handle?
Absolutely. So this $150, or if you get a scholarship, really allows you access to those tools. So you don't need to come to the camp with any other supplies. We're providing all of those supplies for our kids. And yes, you're absolutely right that they're looking at new programs, they're looking at redesign, they're looking at careers in STEM that they may not otherwise have access to. So we're hoping it does offer that opportunity for them.
Now, one thing that I know schools are always big about is metrics, rubrics, being able to measure what progress people have made and if it's really working. So you've been doing these academies for 4 years.
Yes.
Have you been able to look back and say, this is some of the positive stuff that really happened? And we can say, yes, if we didn't have the academy, this stuff probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, so one thing is looking at the qualitative piece, so looking at feedback from parents. And the demand, as you could see, increasing 200 to 250 STEM academies. That demand is there.
Yeah, it is.
But looking at the research background, so going back to what I said, a student that's participating in the STEM academy is 4 times more likely to be successful on the STEM and science and of course exam. That's a research piece that speaks by itself. And so it's what's happening during the school day and after school STEM academies, and the combination of that makes our Pinellas County students very successful.
How do you get the parents to get psyched about getting their kids involved in this? Because unless you have a parent or a guardian or somebody who says, hey, you ought to really do this, kids tend to shy away. Oh, it's extra work, Hold on.
Well, our biggest thing is we found word of mouth.
Oh, really?
So parents are telling other parents join us, and we have large wait lists, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah.
The other thing is our district does parent universities, and that's a way for parents to come and learn about the programs that we offer in Pinellas County. So I'll be there doing a session on STEM, and the biggest message that we want to send out to our parents and caregivers is that just because you haven't graduated high school or you don't have a STEM degree doesn't mean that you can't help your student your child get to that point of having a STEM career for themselves.
Yeah, excellent. And I have to ask, because I've never asked this before, were you a science nerd when you were in school?
I was.
You really were, huh?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until college where I was like, this is a great teaching tool, using math and science as a platform to even teach reading and writing.
Yeah.
And so one of my degrees focuses on that, and that's really helped me in my career field that I'm in now. So I can inspire other people to get involved.
Yeah, well, you're definitely a spark plug, and I mean that in a wonderful way. And we have such great teachers and administrators in Pinellas County Schools.
Yes.
It's always good to see somebody who has so much passion for what they're doing, and that wears off on the teachers and all the kids that are around it, because these are great kids, and I've been very, very fortunate to know quite a few of the kids involved in the STEM programs, and they are great. So, folks, get your kids to one of these STEM academies. This stuff is just way too cool. Of course, they may hook up your refrigerator so that when you open it up, it talks to you, or something like that. It could actually happen. Laura, it's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We'll be back with more right after this.